Welcome to the CRM. Hey guys, it's Chris, and in today's video, I'm talking about The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, Episode 1 to Episode 2. Now, a lot of you guys have been asking, hey Chris, when are you going to do some more mature content? And I'm definitely delivering on the mature content this week, to say the least. Let's get into it! The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, is a 6-part spin-off series that takes place in the Walking Dead universe. This series takes place after the conclusion of the original show, The Walking Dead. This series is also set after Dead City and Daryl Dixon. The premise is about a love story of two people in a changed world, separated from each other. They're trying to reunite and return home. This changed world now has a war against the living, not the dead. First, Episode 1. Episode 1 takes place 5 years after the bridge. Rick is sent out to kill some walkers during a massive forest fire by the CRM. Now, the CRM stands for Civic Republic Military, and he tries to escape. He has an axe in his hand and cuts his hand right off. And he uses a walker's burning corpse to cauterize his wound. Just puts it right in there, gasped in pain. And unfortunately, this plan to escape fails. CRM protects over a working, hidden city. It's this massive city, and they essentially have a base on the outskirts of the city. And once you're in the city, you can never leave. Like, yeah, it's cool that you are protected by an army, but you can never leave the city. Rick dreams of a normal life with Michonne, and eventually accepts the offer to join the CRM from Okafor. It's the end and the start. The CRM gives him a prosthetic arm, and it essentially has a hidden blade in it. As soon as he pulls it out, I'm just like, what is this, Assassin's Creed? Assassin Rick, he's got a prosthetic arm with a hidden blade on it, so I did like that touch, you know, gave him the nice uniform, looking like a SWAT officer. Okafor attempts to recruit Rick and Thorne into his plan by changing the CRM from the inside. Rick tries to escape, again, during a run to an abandoned chemical plant. He's stopped by Thorne and a little girl. What he was going to do, he was essentially going to put his dog tags on like a burnt corpse and throw a grenade next to some of these tankers and make it look like he was burned alive in an explosion. But it doesn't work. It backfires, and he can't escape through the underground tunnel. Rick, recalling a story from his childhood, finally agrees to accept Okafor's plan before their helicopter is shot down. Okafor is hit with an explosive projectile, essentially just a rocket, or I should say missile. They call it a missile. Comes out, hits him right in his chest, boom, blows up. There goes Okafor. Blood everywhere. The helicopter crashes and Rick survives. The attacker, which we don't really know who the attacker is until we see the attacker going up and slicing everybody with the katana. It's like, yeah, that's definitely Michonne. Goes up, she kills the remaining soldiers. She's even got some help from Nat, because he's got like a homemade missile launcher on his little wrist thing. And Michonne approaches Rick and is about to, slice his throat. He unmasks, and she's like looking at him like, oh my god, it's Rick. And by the end of episode 1, Rick and Michonne are finally reunited again. About time. Next, episode 2. Episode 2 takes place 6 years after the bridge. Michonne wants to get to Bridger's terminal. Michonne tries to head there alone, but is stopped by an exploding gas walker and a massive horde. She's on her horse, and she sees essentially a zombie with like gasoline tanks on him, and it explodes, and his head goes flying at her and knocks her off her horse. And she is reunited again with her friends from this community that's always on the move. It's like this massive convoy. They talk like they've been friends, so I'm assuming she's known them for a while now. The group head towards Bridger's terminal when they are bombed by a CRM helicopter. Chlorine gas, essentially like yellow gas, and it cuts off your oxygen and kills you. Michonne and her friends retreat into a building during the bombing. Once in the building, the gas affects 2 of Michonne's friends, besides Nat. the little short guy. He's fine. And she essentially has to kill them both. She essentially has to stab them, kill them, you know, because they, like I said, it cuts off your oxygen and kills you. And in the Walking Dead universe, you don't have to be bitten. As long as you're killed, you're going to be turned into a walker. She has to stab one, and then this other one is essentially standing in front of a bar that's on fire, or a display case, or whatever you want to say it, and she has to use her katana and stabs him right through the face and the head and kills him. This character that she has to stab in the face with her katana is played by King Batch. And if you have ever watched YouTube in the last 10 years, you know who he is. Heading home, Michonne and Nat see a CRM helicopter, and Nat shoots 2 missiles at it. Like I said earlier in the video, he's got this like homemade missile launcher, and he uses like a tripod, and he puts his arm on it and shoots out missiles, and he shoots down the helicopter, and Michonne kills the remaining soldiers with Nat's help. She goes up with her katana and starts slicing their throat, and then she's finally reunited with Rick. And Rick tells her, hey, the CRM are gonna come, they're gonna show up, act like you don't know me. And when she gets back to the base on the outskirts of the city, she essentially tells him, you know, my name's Dana, you know, I've been out here living by myself for a while, and she essentially acts like she doesn't know Rick, because Okafor literally knows who Michonne is. I mean, he's dead, so what is he really gonna say? But who else really knows about Rick's past? Who else also knows about Michonne? Rick promises to Michonne that they will escape, eventually. Rick is confronted by Jadis, and she tells him that you will never get home if you try to escape. If you try to escape, I will kill everyone you love. If this review does good, gets the likes and the positive feedback I need, I'll talk about episode 3 and episode 4, and if that video does really good, I'll just finish off the whole series. And plus, you know, it's mature content, so it won't always just be Spider-Man or Scooby-Doo. So let's get this video some views and some likes. I'm Spider-ManChris, and I'll see you in the next one.